I'm gonna be honest guys, when it comes to the NHL, we have seen some horrendous creativity. I mean, most nicknames are just their name, maybe with an R at the end. Ah, hey Kane. Or should I say Kaner? But it's okay. Even though nicknames are lacking, we have seen numerous hilariously confusing names, many of which have interesting backstories that I even had no clue about until the making of this video. And make sure to press subscribe for some more awesome hockey content. And comment down below any funny nicknames you know of, or what was your nickname in hockey? This should be fun. Brad Marchand, aka the Rat. Now, if you follow hockey, you probably can take an educated guess on why Brad Marchand got this nickname.
Look at the slew foot, Marchand with the right skate. Brutal hit on the board. That's a ratty play.
But I wanted to go a step further. What is the origin story?
Love them on your team. Are you ready? Let's look at the pest, eh, Blue? All right, she's a pest sometimes too. Let's go. We saved the best pest for last. Boston, Kenny Lisbon from Kingston, Ontario, my hometown. They call him the Rat. Look at this here. Ian Duncan, he gets a nice little spear, and watch, he spits on him.
Back in the 80s, the NHL would be introduced to one of the biggest pests the game has ever seen. Kenny Linesman. Not only was he capable of 80-point, 30-goal seasons, but my man was annoying. He got under the skin of all his opponents and constantly crossed the line. And Kenny Linesman was the original Boston Bruins Rat. Fast forward to 2006. The Boston Bruins in the 3rd round would draft a chippy but offensively capable Brad Marchand. In his first 20 games, he had 1 point. But when he wasn't scoring, he was playing that chippy, in-your-face game, which is why Marchand had 20 penalty minutes in his first 20 NHL games. On March 17th, 2011, Marchand, already known for being an instigator, would cross the line for the first time, receiving his first suspension after brutally blindsiding RJ Umberger with a flying elbow.
Blue Jackets is going to get nullified right here. From behind a little bit, a little bit, and a little bit.
In that same year, Marchand would add slew footing to his book of plays and received a $2,500 fine. And the origin on why people really dislike him, which led to the Rat legacy being passed down to him, was because he viciously clipped Sammy Salo, earning him a nice 5-game suspension in the stamp of the Rat. Zack Parise, aka Brinks. Back in the 2012 offseason, we would see 2 massive departures, as both Zach Parise and Ryan Suter, who were superstars in the league, would enter free agency, which caused the hockey world to start salivating as their team now had a chance to potentially sign a franchise-changing piece.
See it all, it's signing a 13-year contract. I mean, that's basically half of your life, you know, that 13-year contract.
I didn't hesitate.
No.
The Minnesota Wild would slam dunk on the entire league by signing not just one of them, but both of them to a hilarious 13 years, 1-3, $98 million contract with $25 million in signing bonuses, and a nice hint of dooming your franchise for the next decade. No, but for real, Minnesota signing both players was a massive shock and a big risk. A risk that would basically force the Minnesota Wild into mediocrity, because with 2 cornerstone players like this, it's almost impossible to finish at the bottom, but without the right support, it's also not enough star power to be a serious contender. What if I were to tell you, since signing both of them, the Wild have only missed the playoffs once? But if I were to ask you how many years you considered Minnesota to be a championship caliber team, the room goes silent. Now, things are definitely bright. Fiala, Spurgeon, a newly drafted Marco Rossi, but back to Parise. After signing this massive contract, the team started calling Parise Brinks because his contract was so big that he probably needed a Brinks armory truck to carry that load. Quinn Hughes, aka Huggy Bear. During the 2018 NHL draft, now teammate Brandon Sutter would tune in to see the future stud that Vancouver was drafting. And after being gifted Quinn Hughes at number 7, Sutter, being the veteran that he is, instantly started coming up with nicknames right after he was drafted. Hughesy, maybe Huggy Bear. Yep.
Huggy Bear.
Huggy.
Huggy.
What?
Because he's cute. It's just like you want to cuddle him, you know, hold him tight.
Originating from Starsky and Hutch, and the fact that Quinn Hughes is apparently just a huggable little guy, Huggy Bear was the name. But what cemented it, or maybe confirmed Hughes as Huggy Bear? But the first day he arrived to Vancouver, Quinn Hughes was wearing a t-shirt with a little bear on it. Marc Eduard Vlasic, aka Vlasic Pickle. To be honest guys, it's pretty simple. Vlasic is one of the most famous pickle companies in North America, so having the name Vlasic will naturally come with a counterpart, Vlasic Pickle. Auston Matthews, aka Big Papi. Growing up in Arizona, Matthews was a child phenom and a catalyst for desert hockey. And if you're familiar with baseball, the name Big Papi originated from David Ortiz when he played on the Boston Red Sox. And Auston Matthews even wears number 34 because of Ortiz. And what many people don't even realize about Matthews is that even though he was a child phenom in hockey, he was arguably an even better baseball player who had a serious shot at the MLB if he did pursue it. And so, Matthews would take on the name Papi because of his strong connection to baseball growing up. Now, luckily Matthews thought baseball was way too slow and enjoyed the fast, exciting pace of hockey more, because in another reality, especially coming from that untraditional hockey market, Matthews would be a star hitter in the MLB right now. Pavel Datsyuk, aka the Magic Man. Drafted in round number 6, Pavel Datsyuk is arguably the greatest draft steal in NHL history. Because during the 90s, the Russian factor was still very high. Teams were terrified on committing draft picks to Russian players who may never even think about coming to the NHL, which also explains why many teams passed on him. But after only a couple years, when Datsyuk finally came over, you could tell this kid is special. And what was probably Datsyuk's #1 trait was his godly puck control. Yes, Patrick Kane arguably has the best hands in NHL history, but Kane is definitely not one of the strongest on the puck in NHL history. Datsyuk is both. He was impossible to knock off the puck, would embarrass the most elite defenders in the NHL, and of course, is hands down the most infamous shootout artist the NHL has ever seen. Datsyuk's skill set was so out of this world because the only explanation for this was magic. Anyways guys, can you name an interesting hockey nickname? Or perhaps, what was your nickname? Make sure to press subscribe for some more awesome hockey content. 2021 has started with a bang, so let's keep up this momentum. I really appreciate the support. Hope you guys and your families are doing well. See you guys later.